This is my first ever VR review on my channel, and what better way to kick things off than with a proper Superbike game. This is VRider SBK. Now I saw this pop up a few months ago and I realised I'm missing out. A licensed Superbike game not in my ridiculously massive Steam library? That had to change. So I reached out to the devs and they were happy to provide a review code. So a huge thank you to Funny Tales, and especially Dev Eduardo for the opportunity. So then, is this the most immersive way to ride a Superbike in the comfort of your own home? Or does it leave you missing the apex, just wishing and still dreaming that you could be as cool as Top Rack Razgatlioglu? Well, you know what? It's time to find out. Let's do it. First up, the big one. How does it feel to ride? Well, once you've dialed in your comfort settings, the handling feels great. You can carve through corners with real precision. There are even moments where instinct just takes over, where you don't feel like you're playing the game, you're just riding. But that said, this is not a simulation game. The bikes have that light, floaty feel typical of arcade races. Loads of grip, huge stopping power, and very responsive. Reminding me a bit of Moto Racer in a way from many years ago. Now this definitely has its pros and cons. On the plus side, it's incredibly accessible. You physically lean forward to tuck in, twist the right controller like a throttle, and move your arms as if you're actually holding handlebars. I caught myself leaning hard in the Doom chair. I looked ridiculous, but it felt awesome. On the flip side, the forgiving nature of the physics can take a bit away from the immersion. It takes skill to be fast, but the nuance isn't riding like you're riding a real Superbike, it's embracing the arcade. But where the game really shines is in the VR-specific immersion. The wind noise changes as you tuck behind the screen, gear shifts have this satisfying mechanical pop, and the engine notes are distinct across different bikes. And the moment you lift out of the bubble under braking and hear the air rush change, whoa, chef's kiss. It's something you've really got to experience in VR to fully appreciate. Flat gameplay just doesn't feel the same. Now I've only been playing VR for about a month, so I'm not completely immune to motion sickness. And this game can definitely catch you out. Now I'm playing on the MetaQuest 3S, which is connected to my computer via the Quest Link, running settings at the maximum with 120Hz. My setup being an RTX 5070 Ti and a Ryzen 5950X. And for the most part, performance was great. Stable frame rate, good responsiveness, but certain tracks like Donington Park and Most gave me a bit of nausea due to the rapid change of direction and elevation. That said, a 10 to 15 minute break usually sorted me out. But let's talk about the game's structure. You've got the quick race, you've got hot laps, time trial, online multiplayer, and a tournament mode. All decent options. Especially online, which I hear has quite a bit of potential. But here's the thing, there's no career mode. You can't create and pick a rider, sign with a team, progress through a full season, and for a licensed Superbike game, feels like a pretty big omission. Even a basic championship mode would have added some much more needed structure for solo players. And on a similar note, there's no Steam achievements. Yeah, I know not everyone cares about that sort of stuff, but I'm a bit of an achievement hunter, and having no goals tied to wins on my Steam library just takes a bit of the fun away. And I think the worst part is that it's already implemented within the game, but I want to show it off on my Steam profile. So that for me does make a difference. Now don't get me wrong, those missing features don't ruin the experience, but they do make the game feel a little bit bare once the novelty of VR wears off. Now this might confuse a few people. The game has just launched on Steam and PlayStation VR 2, but it's actually been out on MetaQuest since June last year. Meaning that this game is not based on the current World Superbike season, And it's also not based on last year's either. It's actually based on 2023's World Superbike calendar and riders. Now don't get me wrong, there's some great riders in that 2023 roster, but I'm not getting Toprak Razgatlioglu on the M1000RR, and I also don't get Nicolo Buliga. So you've got 2025 tracks with 2023 riders. It's not a huge deal, but it's worth pointing out just in case you as the consumer were expecting up-to-date liveries and lineups. Now I am eagerly anticipating some sort of update or DLC for the future, which I will more than likely get. So keep an eye on the updates for VRider Superbike. But what is the final verdict then? VRider Superbike is not a sim, and it's also not pretending to be one. But as a pure VR experience, it delivers. The sense of speed, the physical interaction, and the sound design all come together to create a genuinely thrilling ride. That being said, the lack of a career mode, inaccurate tracks, graphics that don't particularly blow you away, and of course an arcade style feel that may or may not work for the players, especially if you're coming from a more grounded approach from something like MotoGP or the Ride series. But if you've got a VR headset and you love bikes, this is probably the closest you'll come to riding a superbike without shelling out 10 plus grand and risking a high side at turn 1. And it's the only place you can do it at home. So guys, let me know what you think of VRider Superbike. Are you tempted to give it a go? And would you like to see more VR racing content here on the DrAce channel? Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Ciao for now.
Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.